And the lion would not eat him. The lion would not eat the donkey that he traveled on. They stood there as a symbol to all the people. A symbol of disobedience to God. God means what he says. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. Revelation 13:13-16. He performs great signs, we are warned, and he deceives those who dwell on the earth. And here is Spirit of Prophecy Counsel for Us, Great Controversy, page 625. Only those who have been diligent students of the Scriptures, only those who have been diligent students of the Scriptures and who have received the love of the truth will be shielded from the powerful delusion that takes the world captive. Who will be shielded? By the Bible testimony, these will detect the deceiver in his disguise. To all the testing time will come. Let me elaborate. We will never enter into heaven unless we are tested and tried. We will never enter into heaven. We'll skip the stories and we go to Hezekiah. You know the great story of this man, Hezekiah. What was his sin? Babylonians went because the son went back, right? You remember the story very well. And then what did he do? Hey, this is the sin that I do every time. When you come home to me, what do? I don't offer you a glass of water. First thing that I take you, see my house. Right? See my house. Hey, my house. That's what, unfortunately, Hezekiah did. He showed the house rather than showing the greatness of his God, who turned the sun 10 degrees back. And then what did they go with? They did not go with the greatness of God, with the knowledge of a God who rules the universe, who created the heavens and the earth, but they went with the knowledge of the riches of Hezekiah. And what did they say? Isaiah came back immediately. These same people will come back. For what? Not for the knowledge of God. By their apostasy and rebellion, those who should have been standing as light bearers among the nations were living, inviting the judgments of God. My brothers and sisters, in the case of all these men, we see one thing, and that is they were all tested by God, and all of them failed God in one way or the other. But God did not leave his church without example. We fast forward to the Babylonian captivity, and we see here, pick up our friend Daniel in the lion's den. Beautiful story that the children will be listening to very much. Bible says that Darius the Mede took the kingdom from the Babylonians, and Daniel was preferred over the others to stand as the president. Number one president. Why was Daniel preferred? Why was Daniel preferred? Here is a new kingdom, new king coming over. He is not Nebuchadnezzar, he is not Belshazzar. They don't even know him. But here is a man who is preferred over everybody else. Why? Daniel was preferred not because he accommodated the religions and sacrificed the Sabbath. Daniel was not preferred because he could sacrifice his Sabbath and work for the kingdom 24/7. Daniel was not preferred because he invited the king for a banquet like, Esther Queen. Daniel was preferred above everybody else because he represented the King of Kings, the God who made the heaven and earth, without giving an occasion for the heathen to find a fault with him in running the affairs of the kingdom. Daniel kept meticulous bookkeeping. Daniel kept meticulous records. So nobody, not even the modern CPAs can find any fault with his record keeping. How much more? Because our God is a record keeping God. He keeps record of the nations. He keeps my record and your record. And Daniel kept meticulous unerring records. Even heathen nations have to acclaim and find no fault with him. How much more we should be keeping records? God's work demands record keeping. So they put him in, and then you know what the king said. Anyway, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God, whom thou servest continually, able to deliver thee from the lions. Will it be tomorrow, if we encounter such a situation, that we will be able to tell, like Daniel did, O king, live forever. Yes, my God is able to deliver. God shall deliver his people. Without question, because there comes a time very soon upon this world when we will have to stand without a mediator. Without a mediator. No more Christ. But we are already sealed by that time. Our characters would have been formed. Our character is already formed, unwavering character on the side of Jesus Christ. So when the mediator rises up from there, our characters have to be sealed in favor of God. In favor of God. I shall be closing, I suppose, now. And here is a statement. The line of distinction between professed Christians and the ungodly is now hardly distinguishable. Church members love what the world loves and are ready to join with them. And Satan determines to unite them in one body. That is the goal of Satan. Unless we as a church from the beginning make it our primary purpose to accurately follow the word of God, we will lose our battle. We should be able to stand before the kings and the empires, even the senates most probably, even the courts of this world, and say like Paul said to King Agrippa, whereupon, O King Agrippa, I was not disobedient unto the heavenly vision. God, I firmly believe, my brothers and sisters, with all my heart, has called this church for a specific purpose. And each one of us know within our hearts that we have been chosen by God. Is there a question? Is there a doubt that we are chosen for a specific purpose? Not to emulate the world, not to copy the churches around us, but to be unique in following the word of God. Are we worried about membership? Are we worried about numbers? Are we worried about finances? God will provide them. God will provide them. But make sure that we are on the side of the Lord. Come what may, like those Vardis. Come what may. They said to Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar, we know that your fire is burning, but we know our God is capable of saving us from your hand. But even if he does not save us, we are not willing to bow down. How many of us can make that statement? And I wish by God's grace, all of us who are seated here today will make that decision. Even if it costs my life, I will not give room for the devil. He called us to be his faithful witnesses in proclaiming the three angels' messages. Sometimes we pride ourselves as, you know what, I want to tell you this from my heart. Sometimes we often pride ourselves saying we are a praying church. How many times did you hear? We are a praying church. I have no problem with that. I would rather encourage every member to be a praying member. Not every day, not 3 times of a day like Daniel did, but every minute of our lives. Pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing. But add to that, my friends. Add to that. Praying church, the phrase called an obedient and faithful church. A church which does not only pay, but which is a faithful and obedient church. A church which seeks not to conform to the world, but conform to the word of God. Let the world see in us not merely a remnant in the name, but indeed A people who will say with Paul, I have fought a good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Finally, there is laid up for me, from henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness. May it be our experience that every member who is seated in front of me, every person who is hearing this word preached, may make that resolution. I have fought a good fight. From henceforth, there awaits me a crown of righteousness. May it be our only happiness and joy that we seek for his kingdom. May the Lord come soon, and may we go home with him soon. This is my prayer.